So yeah, talk to me then about when you started watching movies and things like that. Do you have any memories of when you were younger, going to the cinema for the first time? Did you have like a first favourite film? Tell me some stories.
First favourite film, I'm gonna say, is Drop Dead Fred with Rick Mayall. Have you ever seen that?
Never seen it,
Oh
but
my goodness.
that's an interesting choice.
So it's definitely not for kids, but it's that's a trope of my life, is watching films that are way too old for me from a really young age. I remember like really vividly going to the cinema and stuff with my parents and them like coaching me like, when were you born? Because they used to like, so we'd be going to see like 15s or whatever, and I was way underage.
Would you lie or would you just kind of wing it?
Would wing it, but but my dad would tell me what my date of birth should be.
Oh, I see. Okay,
like
yeah.
And my dad's a police officer, right?
My dad was a police officer.
Really?
Not anymore, but he was.
Yeah. No, my dad's not a police officer anymore. Like, God, do you see a difference in him?
And happiness-wise too.
Yeah. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
My dad got a dog as well, so like
he's like, I'm now retired, like.
Yeah, literally, like it's nice.
Now he works for the NHS. He works in like he's an ambulance driver now.
Oh my fucking
God! So he's kind of back in the services a bit. You know, I think he doesn't miss it, but he was like, I want to do something. You know what I mean?
Was your dad a detective or?
He was a constable for 30 years, and then retired in 2017.
Yeah. Our dads probably know each other.
They probably do.
Yeah.
Sorry, early films, Drop Dead Fred.
Yes, Drop Dead Fred. So it's Rick Mayall. I wish I could remember. It's got a good cast. Like, I wish I could remember the other names of the other actors in it. But it's essentially about a woman who is maybe in her late 20s, who's married an older man who has left her, and because of that feeling of abandonment and loneliness, her imaginary friend comes back from when she was a little girl. So it flashes back between her. It's Rick Mayall, so it's like a ridiculous comedy, and he's this the Drop Dead Fred is the name of her imaginary friend, and he wears this like bright green pinstripe suit with like a yellow jumper, and he's got ginger hair that comes out to here, and he's just
I'd probably recognise, if I saw a picture of him, I would have seen him in memes and stuff like that.
And he's a total gobshite, and he's always getting her into trouble because he's a troublemaker, right?
I love that term, gobshite, so funny.
It's so good. I am such a gobshite. So yeah, that's probably my favourite film. Like, obviously I love Disney's and stuff like that, but yeah, like anything Robin Williams, anything Jim Carrey. But Drop Dead Fred was the one that to the point where like I'd never even had a hard copy of it. I had a VHS of it that was a recording from the telly that had Jurassic Park at the start, Drop Dead Fred in the middle, and then it was like a cartoon about a mouse in a desert. I can't remember what it was called.
Like some Looney Tunes or something, no?
No, because it was
Danger
a film.
Mouse? I don't know, but I loved that about VHS how it was like you had something recorded, and once it was finished, it would go to like that whatever else was on the tape halfway through Jurassic
and
Park.
Adverts, like, and you would like, I'd have to like, and I think the beginning of Jurassic Park was actually it wasn't on the tape, but you'd have to. I'd be sitting at the telly, fast forwarding through it. Same with it. I used to watch this B movie that's it's like a vampire franchise. It's called Love at First Bite.
Very nice.
Yes, a total
I've
B
not
movie.
seen it. But.
Yes, no, from the 80s. And both my parents are mad into film, like love films, and I think that's why, because they love films, so they want to watch films. My parents were never the parents that like let us listen to like kids music in the car or watch kids films with us. They would watch like sometimes age appropriate, but they were just like, no, you'll listen to what we listen to. So I grew up on like Motown,
I love that.
David Bowie, the Jam and stuff like that. So like I was never one of those kids that's like, I like, not that Peppa Pig was around when I was a kid, but S Club 7, to be fair, I was a big S Club 7 fan.
Fair enough. Spice Girls, things like that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was probably my favourite film when I was a kid.
So what about cinema? Do you remember going to the cinema for the first time?
Yeah, definitely. For the first time, no.
Or early times.
Like, do you know what? I remember every Lord of the Rings very vividly, because they were the last things that my family did together as a group. Okay. Like as a family grouping, we went to go and see all the Lord of the Rings every year that they came out. I was thinking, do you know, when you asked me to pick a film, I was swithering between the one that we're doing and Pretty Women.
Yes, you said that,
yeah. And because I vividly remember going to the cinema with my mum, right? It was my brother's birthday. Him and his pals went to go and see a film, and me and my mum went to go and see Runaway Bride.
Okay.
And when we left the cinema, she was like, I've got a better film that Richard Gere and Julia Roberts are in together. So we went home, and I remember my mum standing behind me doing the ironing, and me sitting with my like elbows on like one of those like poofy things
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you get, like like footrests, like right in front of the telly, just like this, like
Just
total,
glued.
like obviously all the, you know, sex work or like
course.
sexual reference, it goes straight over your head, and I was just completely enamored with Julia Roberts, like
Yeah.
from such a young age. And then great night for film. She put Dirty Dancing on after that.
Oh, yes.
Unbelievable.
Very good. So I've never seen Pretty Woman, but it's my mum's favourite film.
Is it?
And I've never watched it because of that. I want to wait for that right moment and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? And I'm just waiting for that to come up for the podcast, which is why we're doing this, like get the guest to pick the film so I'll watch more.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and
it's
things
like,
are out with what you would
yeah, absolutely.
naturally lean
my
towards.
first like new guest in this new season we're doing of the podcast was one of my acting pals, Madeline McGurk, and she picked Legally Blonde.
Great.
And I was like, I've never seen it, but
Oh.
when would I have watched Legally Blonde?
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was such a good time.
It's such a good film.
Yeah, and apparently there's a new one coming out or something.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Maybe not, I don't know if I made that up. Or
I
not.
love the musical as well.
Never seen that either.
Oh, it's great.
But yeah.